Hey everybody, it's the 3D Printing Professor. The Pinshape Batman V Superman contest just ended, and I had the opportunity to be one of the judges. And surprisingly, my first, second, and third place choices were the first, second, and third place winners. So let me go over the contest entries and let's talk about what I thought was good and bad about them and see what you think as well. So before I jump into this contest and start talking about how I judged them, the contest had certain criteria, and these were them. They judged them based on three things: creativity, technical excellence, and presentation. Were they creative? Did they fit the theme? Were they intricate? And most of them, all of them, were very creative and beautiful. But how much were they, I guess, was the question. Technical excellence, in other words, did they print well on an FDM or FFF 3D printer? And presentation, what settings did they print, and did they use pictures to show off how it printed and things like that? So let's go into the entries in no particular order, and let's just jump into the first one. So the first one is the Batmobile by Pliarch. This design, definitely very creative. Very intricate. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The amount of work and detail put into these models were great. Technical excellence is one part where it kind of fell short just a little bit, because this model was designed to print with supports on curved surfaces. Now, I hate putting supports on curved surfaces. They never clean well. This model did a good job, though, of hiding a lot of those curved surfaces underneath hubcaps and things like that. So a little bit okay, just a little bit docked for that one. Also, interestingly, if you download the model for this one and take a look at it, all of those wheels are kind of, they're just straight cut off so that the body can be flat, and then you print the bottoms of the wheels and glue them on, which I thought was an interesting choice, but it means that the wheels aren't real. They don't move, they don't roll. This isn't an actual toy. It doesn't move. It's just something that sits on the shelf. And so in my mind, that lost a few points as well. However, it does print. They've proven successfully that it does print, and it looks fantastic. So really great job, Pliarch, and well done. This model, of course, is available to download right now, as the rest of them are. You can go to Pinshape and download it, and I'll be sure to include links in the description. The next one was the Dark Knight Grapple Gun cosplay by Collector CNC. This is a beautiful looking model, intricate, creative, very cool. And when I saw this model, my first thought was, how in the heck did they make this 3D print? Oh, the support removal on this thing must have been ugly, unless, sure enough, they got clever. They cut the model in half, printed each half separately, and then glued them together. So good job on making it a nice 3D printable model. Now, it's not functional. It doesn't actually do anything. It just looks good, but it prints and it fits the theme, and it did a good job. Next, we have the first place, and a well-deserved first place winner, another grapple gun, but this one's functional, and it's amazing. It's made out of a lot of parts, but interestingly, every one of those parts is FFF friendly. It was designed extremely well, and while I was looking at this one, I said, okay, first of all, it's got a little spring in it with a little bit of string. It's not going to shoot very well or very far. I imagine it's going to be like a toy from the 80s or even nowadays, I suppose, where you just go plink. But then they also added a little laser for the sight. It's just cool, and it made me go, I want that. I don't actually want to go through the time and effort to have it, because I'm pretty sure that when I pull the trigger and it just goes plink, that I'll go, all right. But it's really cool, and they made me go, okay, I definitely want that. It's got little folding clips. It's just super cool. And like I said, each one of the parts is FFF friendly. They did a good job of designing this thing to be printable on an FFF printer. It's a lot more work than I would ever go through, but it made me want to go through it. So good job. Totally worth the first place. Fits the theme. technically brilliant, and it made me go, I want to do that. I'm never going to do this, but it's beautiful. My one complaint is it uses a lot, I feel a lot, of not 3D printed parts that could be made 3D printed. You know, the screws could be replaced with snap pins, and perhaps a 3D printed spring could be come up with. That's a complicated thing to do, but it's a minor gripe for a well-deserved first place. Good job, Maker's Place. And again, if you want to go through the effort to make this one, it's available to download on Pinshape right now as well. Next, we have the Low Poly Batman by Christos Fragulas. I apologize for massacring your name. And this is a part of a whole series of low poly superheroes. He's made a low poly Superman. I think there's a low poly Spider-Man or a Flash, or he's made a lot of them, and they're all very stylistic and very pretty. Technically, they fit the theme great. Technically, he did a good job of breaking them up into nice printable object supports. I suppose part of the reason why this got docked a few points for me was that the poses possible weren't very dynamic. At best, you can have them standing there and maybe move their arms, but not a whole lot of movement and posing. It's just this pose. Again, though, it's a beautiful build and I really like it. A beautiful model and fantastic. I absolutely love this one. Now the Batman's Grenade Launcher 1:1 scale Batman v Superman by Mad Miller's Designs. This is a gorgeous model. A lot of work went into this one, and it looks it. It's absolutely fantastic. However, while most of the pieces look FFF friendly, mostly, kind of, I can't really say for sure that they are because this model never got printed. So the problem with not having printed and tested a model is you're never really sure if you get the tolerances right. A lot of times when we first design for 3D printing, we make mathematically perfect models, and that means that in real life, they don't meld together. Now, what that really means is that you're going to have to sand these parts down a lot in order to get them to meld together. I think it received honorable mention, and it deserved it very well. It's a beautiful model, and a lot of work went into it. I would love to see this made. I would love to see somebody use this in the cosplay. I think it would be totally usable for that. And so, I hope to see more of this model in the future. Next is the Flying Lego Batman by Dave CLK. And this is a really interesting model. It is supposedly, it actually flies, and he tested it. He doesn't have any pictures of it flying, but it's a printed Lego Batman. The wings are just these kind of thin frames that you put a membrane on. Then you print the Batman, and you print the hat and the body in separate parts. Some of the parts aren't quite FFF friendly because, of course, Legos aren't designed to be FFF friendly. Legos are designed to be injection molded friendly. And so there might be some small supports. It's a great model, and it looks fantastic. Absolutely love this model. It's cute. It's great. Let's move on. The Batmobile Tumbler by Dodo 2000. This model, the amount of work and detail that went into this model, it looks fantastic. Now, one complaint is, again, you have to turn on supports to print it. There are some parts that won't print without supports, and some of those parts are rounded wheels, which I never have luck 3D printing with supports. I would have liked to see a little bit more work go into making this model FFF friendly, parting it out and laying everything flat on the build surface, whatever needed to be done. But still, it's a beautiful model, and a lot of work went into this. I absolutely commend Dodo 2000 on the absolutely beautiful job on this model. Next is a Gotham Lamp by Flowistic. Flowalistic. Always fun to try pronouncing people's usernames, isn't it? Now this model, it's a beautiful model, and you can see when the light turns on, if you printed it with green, that you kind of get a Kryptonite in there, and he's got a little bat symbol in there as well. But that's the thing about this model. Now, it's technically brilliant. It prints without support. It looks great. You attach the light into it, and you've got a functional lamp. The thing is, though, it didn't feel like it fit the theme. It felt like the theme was just kind of tacked on there, like he looks like definitely he had taken this model that he had made for something else or for himself, and then just kind of slapped a theme on it. So while it's good and it looks good, it just kind of felt like it was shoehorned into the theme. So still a great model though, and one that I think I might print one day just to have as a 3D printed, functional, useful lamp. Absolutely love this model. It was super cool. Next we've got, this one was either second or third place. I think it was second place, and again, super well deserved because it's a clip-on pocket bat signal for your smartphone. How ridiculously silly and fun is this idea? Choose your favorite bat symbol, attach it to the back of your phone with the clip, and then turn on the flashlight mode and project a bat signal on the wall. It's ridiculous, it's silly, and yet it perfectly matches the theme because Batman always has his bat symbol, and now you can have one too in the phone. I'd love to see this also with Superman's logo, Flash's logo. It would be absolutely trivial to make new inserts for this for whatever superhero you wanted. It's silly, it's ridiculous, and it's perfect. It's functional, it works, it matches with the theme 100%. It's a well-deserved second place, this model. Follow that one up by the third place model, the Kryptonite Tea Light. Again, the last lamp that I looked at, I said, well, you know, it looked like it was tacked on, but this one looks like it integrated perfectly with the theme, as opposed to being a lamp that they kind of slapped some elements on. This looks like he started with Kryptonite and said, I really want to make it glow. How do I put a tea light in there? You know what I could see doing with this is printing it out and putting your tea light in it and going around on Halloween with a shaved head and a nice suit on, and then when you see a kid dressed as Superman, say, my arch nemesis, and pull out your Kryptonite tea light candle in front of him. It's so much fun. It's a fun idea. Perfect with the theme. It prints without supports, everything assembles together, you put a little tea light in it, and you're done and good to go. I definitely think I'm going to be printing this one up in the future. It's fantastic. And a well-deserved third place. Next we got another lamp. This is the Dark Knight lamp, and I like how he shows the first picture looking down into the lamp where you can see the bat logo in there, but then you see it from the outside, and Where's Batman? Where's the Batman theme? Where is it here? It again feels like another project that was made for whatever other reasons and then had Batman tacked onto it. It looks great. It's a beautiful model and one that I fully would support from a functional print standpoint. But as far as competing with these other ones that integrated the theme so much better, there were just other ones that were better. But it's a great model, and again, like all of these models, available right now to download on Pinshape. So you can print it out if you see this and you go, you know what, Joe, I disagree. I think this one's good. Go get it. It's right there for you. Next, let's take a look at the Batman v Superman speaker wall stand. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful. Here you've got Superman punching Batman, doing, you know, like a gravity fly, punching him into the ceiling, and it's a wall stand, so you can have that scene captured in 3D in your home, and it's beautiful. The art on it is fantastic. It fits the theming. It's absolutely perfect. Where this one loses out, where this one lost a few points, is that it's really heavily support dependent. And I noticed that a lot of the prints kind of don't look at the places very closely that were supported, and there's a good reason for that. Whenever you have smooth organic surfaces that have to be supported to print, they oftentimes don't look very good. So as beautiful a print as this is, as beautiful a model as this is, relying on supports is what lost it a couple of points. Still though, it's fantastic, and it's super fun and super cool, and I love it. Next, there's the RC Batmobile add-on by Carmelo Nazaro. Now, I'm not really sure what this one was, and it doesn't look FFF friendly at all. It doesn't look like it was printed. It doesn't look like there was any effort to print this one. I feel like there's a specific RC car that you put this on and boom, it's a Batmobile, and wouldn't that be cool? I would love to see that. And if I had seen that, and if I had even seen a video of it driving around with a little na-na-na-na-na-na, this might have been a contender. But without that print, without seeing it actually work, and looking at the models that were submitted and how non-FFF friendly they are, I had to dock it a few points. It's still a beautiful model, and I hope to see it in the future finished a little bit and in work and in action, because I think the idea of RC add-on, 3D printed remote control car add-ons, is an untapped market that could absolutely be expanded on. There's more than just Batmobiles, and even with Batmobiles, there's only about 20 of them out there that people could do iconic Batmobiles of. Lastly, we have the Batman V Superman mini screw tool. Okay, this one is interesting. It's got a lot of really cool artistic technical applications to it, with a very interesting functional application that, well, I'll let you see in just a second. So here we've got Batman and Superman being real chummy. It's like he wishes he knew how to quit him. And if you open up the lid, there are a bunch of screw bits inside of it. Well, that's cool. That's a good place to keep your screws. Oh no, it goes a step further, because there's a place that you can plug them into the base of that big ol' art piece on the top, and then use that art piece to screw things in with. Seems a little bit cumbersome and maybe a little bit tacked on, but it's an interesting idea. Now, looking more closely at the models themselves, it becomes obvious to me, anyways, that these two models were modeled independently and then overlap. They're sharing a shoulder. They're like a Siamese twin. If it had been me designing this, I would have moved Batman's shoulder back and put his hand up on Superman's shoulder. The print does require supports, especially around Superman's chin. Batman looks like he's got a bit of a double chin, so not so many supports, but really that's the only place that it needs support, so doing some good cleanup there. And this model is just about FFF friendly. I guess the bottom of Batman's ear, or Superman's ears, might also need a little bit of support and cleanup, but otherwise it's a extremely surprisingly FFF friendly 3D print. And I love their kind of take on the Batman and Superman logo. Instead of the logo that we've seen, this one kind of blends the two in a sort of new and interesting way. I think this is really clever and really brilliant. I've always wondered about a 3D printed tool. Can it hold the bit tight enough? Every time I've done this, I ended up ripping my hole and stripping it out. So I don't know how well this would actually work, but I love the idea. It's really cute, really functional. So there are all the entries in the contest. Go ahead and check them out yourself. I'll have a link to this in this description, and you'll be able to see what Pinshape thought of them, what all the judges thought of them, not just me. And hey, while you're at Pinshape, be sure to check out their other contests. They've always got contests going on. I hope that I get to judge them in the future, because this was a lot of fun, and maybe I'll even enter a few more. I've entered them in the past. Super cool though, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, it's the 3D printing. You son of perdition.